dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham datagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. And the meaning of the mantra: all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessational causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, so before we proceed with the continuation of the class, there are three or two questions. Okay, I don't know if it's two or three. I think it's three. But the first one is that the questions from participants. The first one is can meditation be used as a tool to bridge the gap between knowledge and faith? And can cultivating wisdom also help? Okay, this is a very good question. And in fact, this morning, the wisdom. So meanwhile, on the is good for us. So given that what we did this morning will be a very good background for us to know now expand based on whatever we've done this morning. So what we've done this morning, this more like the scratch. Now to expand from there is that finally managing our emotions. Say our mind is they say there aspiration there, and the aspiration when it goes wrong, then you feel agitated, irritated, and the emotions they stir disturbance in you, and these are known as destructive emotions. And when aspiration goes in the right direction, then we see that the happiness increases, your the stress level reduces, and this what is known as healing. Embrace healing. Okay, now so finally our job is, for example, say to whatever religious belief system that you follow, or whatever the knowledge system that you follow, like modern science, physics, chemistry, or psychology, or mathematics, or music, or dance, or whatever you're following. A finally good mind is for your well-being. Let's not forget this. It's for your well-being and the well-being of your family members. Finally say, oh, I'm a Buddhist, or I'm a Christian, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Jain, Sikh, whatever. And then finally you then say, you see that your family members, they are not, going to the church, going to the temple, and so forth. And know why you are not doing that. You are, from this, we are from this religion. You have to follow this, and then create a lot of disturbance in family. Family, maybe family members, they become unhappy with you. You become unhappy with them. Is this the purpose of religion? It's not. Whereas maintain a very open mind, be a role model for you following your religious belief, whatever beliefs that you follow. Be a good role model. For example, one thing that I like about Tolstoy's, this was just recently meaning like maybe perhaps last year out of my 58 years. So last year I learned that what Tolstoy said, that I don't want to listen to your religion. I want to see your religion in your action. This is amazing. So where if you create problems in the family, create problems in community, this is not religion, you know. So whereas where you follow religion, you follow particular belief system, and people around they become happier. Even the people who don't believe in your religion, they feel comfortable with you. That is your religion. That is so precious. So that is your belief system. So with this in mind, the say keep in mind that your well-being, this is number one. And these religious belief systems, any education that you're doing, they should be there as the factors to enrich, to make your well-being more enriched, more meaningful, more purposeful. If that happens, this is the purpose of your life. So in this connection, the question is, can meditation be used as a tool to bridge the gap between knowledge and faith? So I would say that the faith, when I say faith, people have that naive understanding of faith. Faith is seen as like oh, faith to Buddha, faith to God, faith to this. So this is one class of faith. Faith has multiple dimensions. Say, faith in your teacher, faith in your parents, faith in your husband, faith in your wife, faith in your children, faith in your leaders. So faith has multiple dimensions. So with this in mind, the faith in science. I believe in science. The whatever the non-sciences, I'm not really interested. So some people, they have a very strong affinity to science, and about religious things, they even psychology, they're not too interested. Some people, for them, science is like what they see as an object of faith. So faith does not mean blind faith. Faith has many elements. It can be blind faith, it can be confidence, that you gain conviction, that you gain confidence, in particular in modern science, or confidence in your religion, confidence in your teacher, confidence in your father, in your mother, in your leader. That's a faith. So faith is multiple dimension. So with this in mind, they say the faith, constructive faith, faith which increases your joy, which increases joy of your family members, which increases joy of the people around you. That is very constructive faith. Faith which destroys the joys and happiness of you, your family members, and the community. That is a destructive faith. Let's make a distinction. So this faith, what can give rise to the constructive faith? Always go in this form, cause and effect, cause and effect. Same, the faith, constructive faith is very important. But how do you generate this? No, you have to have faith. No, how do you generate? It's not coming. So how do you generate this? So this requires the use of your intelligence. So simply by imposing somebody, you have to have faith. You have to have faith. So then, no, how? It's not coming to me. How? And the people, they can become angry. They say that you are egoistic. You're getting it. So when they don't have the answer to your question, they said you are egoistic. One time there was a neuroscientist, and particularly when I meet the scientists, it makes me so happy because I see them as very open-minded. And to my shock, a neuroscientist is hardcore blind faith in his own particular religion. And he was talking about something, and I said that, okay, so because I asked this, I usually don't ask these questions to anybody because that person claimed to be a scientist. So I asked this question, thinking that person is very open-minded. I asked a question, and finally he said that I said, how do we know that it exists? It exists. Some religious, the belief system that he had. Because he's a neuroscientist, he's very open-minded. And I asked this question several times. I've no knowledge about these things. And suddenly you tell me that something of this kind exists. And I'm interested to know. I'm not challenging you or saying, I want to know how would I know this? If you tell me to believe in this, or even the belief is not coming, how to make it happen? He became very angry. He said that it is your ego that's talking. Then I said, okay, now full stop. Even the scientists I cannot believe. Even some people who claim as scientists, even they are not open-minded. So this is where the faith, how to cultivate the constructive faith. So constructive faith is faith driven by the wisdom. Faith driven by wisdom, that gives the constructive faith. Then the constructive faith will make you very happy, extremely calm, resilient, not be affected by the external turbulence. Now, how can the meditation assist that? Okay, so what is meditation? Let me give you, say, the because that this is the good audience, I will give you the picture from the, say, the more like the complete picture. What is meditation? In the first place, don't think that meditation is some esoteric thing which will give me blissful experience. Don't think like this. It is a system. It's a system. It is like it's the system to make your mind see things clearer and make your mind become more compassionate and happier person. Happier person, that is the genuinely happy person. For this, the key lies in two things. One is cultivating the mind, which does not imprison you. What's the opposite of imprisoning your mind or the suffocation of your mind? Expanding your mind. So prison, what's prison? Prison is a suffocation where you are enclosed in a small space where you cannot get out. So you feel suffocated. How many of you feel suffocated when the room is too small? Too small. The moment you get out, it is the street. Right? Street there, and then the room is too small, you gotta get out and you feel so suffocated. The moment you come to some people, or shall I name the person or not name the person? So here you have a huge living room for like 50, 60, 70 people. And looking down, you see the whole sea, Mumbai Sea. You understand now who that is. Right? Okay, so there you feel, right. So your mind expands. How many of you can imagine what I'm saying? Yes, what he's saying is, yes, I can imagine that. Right? So when you are in a very close room, you feel phobia. What is it? What is that? Claustrophobia. Claustrophobia. Suffocation. And the moment you come to such a place where just through the window you can see the natural, you can have natural light, ample of natural light, so special. Instantly your mind expands. So it's very funny. In my room, in the flat, like our office staff quarter, where I am staying. So there, my bedroom is okay, and I spend most of my time in the bedroom studying there, do my editing work. Most of them are happening there because has ample of light there, ample of light, natural light. And my altar room, the altar space was renovated just like last year. And because that I was so much used to because it was under renovation, spent so much time in the bedroom with the ample of light there, natural light. So I got used to that. So I would rather spend more time there. Then the one time the altar was so well done, and some tube lights like this, lights put there. And what I noticed was the moment I get into this room, there's a feel this expansiveness happening. That's amazing. Just a feeling of lightness is happening. Then not okay. Now I need to spend more time here. This was what came to me. So what I'm saying is that the empathy. So your mind, when you feel suffocated, when you feel saying your mind is expanding, it's all about your mind, experience of the mind. How many agree with me in a sense? It's purely the experience of your mind. And sometimes you have to check. Let us be very observant. Let us acquire the quality, the skill of being observant. What do you mean by observant? Is when you go out, when you're in your house, out of your house, wherever you go, meet with different people, say you get different feelings. Observe this. But that observation should not be the basis for you to judge on others. The moment you start judging on others, done. Your peace of mind is disrupted. And you get a false feeling of, okay, I'm better than this person. This illusion. You're already mentally disturbed. The moment you judge, the mind which judges on others, this itself is a disturbance. where the mother never judges the children. The mother never judges the children. I won't say the sensible mothers. Not all mothers are sensible, right? Majority are very sensible. Majority. So the majority, I would say that that is the feeling of the mothers, they don't judge. They know the weakness and the strength of the child, but the mother will not judge you. So this is something that we need to remember. So with this, what I'm saying is that the claustrophobia, or say the imprisonment, prison. What is prison? Prison is where you are in a very small space from which you cannot go beyond. You feel suffocated. You understand it? Okay, now the prison, you can create your own prison of mind. You can create your own prison. We tend to create our own prison of our mind. So even with your house, with your family members, you say, okay, workplace, my boss very complicated boss, my colleagues are very complicated, very competitive, and pulling me down. And then workplace is fine. I'm coming home. And then you fight with the husband, you fight with the wife, you fight with the parents, and then say you're going to talk to your father, you're going to talk to your mother, you're going to talk to your husband, you're going to talk to your wife, you're going to talk to your children. So you feel like suffocated. You feel suffocated. How many felt that, right? Once in a while it happens. Presents everywhere. There's a fine. Everywhere you can find. Everywhere it happens. Okay. So that experience is known as imprisoning yourself in the prison of one's own mind. Okay, this is one thing. Now, how to remove that? Break the barrier. It's not external barrier, it's a mental barrier. It's a mental barrier. Break the barrier. This is what is required. How to break the barrier? Break the barrier and you feel expansiveness. Break the barrier. How to break the barrier? This next question. You should be able to ask all these questions, learn the art of asking questions. So meanwhile, be observant. All these experiences, so what is that like? Imprisonment. Okay, this is the feeling that he was describing. Yes, today I could feel imprisonment. So where I feel suffocated. So I cannot talk to anybody. You created the barrier. You've enclosed yourself in the small barrier. So now the question, with this in mind, how to break this barrier, this question. So for that matter, when you break the barrier, then you feel the ease. And your mind, believe it or not, your mind, my mind, each one of us mind, our mind is amazingly powerful. It is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It is profoundly beautiful. It's so profound. It's so beautiful. It is full of wisdom. It is full of power. It is full of compassion. This is true nature. But we don't see that. We don't see that. Even for small things. For example, like say even how to use my mobile. Even I get stuck. One time it was very funny. One of my friends, who must be now in 70s, she said that, Geshe, you used to always send me something which I don't know what you are sending. I can see some flowers there. So what is this flower? He asked this question to me. Okay, anyone guess? Not emoji. So say, do you see the very tiny logo of the mic? Where do you see that? Voice recorder. I was sending him voice messages. And he was thinking, what is this? Geshe sent me something. And on the side, he could see a tiny flower. His eyes are not good. In 70s, so he could see something there, like flower. So he was so innocently, he told me, Geshe, you always send me something. What is that? A small flower is there. What is that? This is, look, this is a very tiny ignorance. Ignorance, and no. So this is actually not him. I also have the same problem. I also get stuck. What should I do? And I ask the younger person, and the younger person just do this. Very easy. Okay, so this is the barrier which imprisons us. This barrier is twofold. Barrier is twofold. There is twofold. One is just imagine there, okay, twofold, and just if you agree with me, if you agree, well and good. If you don't agree, just raise your hand. Okay. One is, let's say that you go to a new, absolutely new place, new country, new place, first time, versus you're going there the 10th time. Which of the two situations you will feel comfortable? The first time or the 10th one? 10th one, because you know who are they, you know their work culture, you know their food culture, you know the people's interaction, you are familiar with the place, you know. Know means knowledge, opposite of which is ignorance. In the first time you go there, you don't know, knowledge is missing, this is ignorance. So with ignorance, it creates a barrier and you feel uncomfortable. And as you second time, third time, then that barrier is dissolved. This is one barrier, barrier of ignorance. Another one is, okay, I'm saying that you are in a workplace where all your people, all your colleagues, they are very competitive, very competitive. Okay, Prerag, you were in that situation? I could feel that, yeah, yes, you smile. Okay, so very competitive versus, say one day you got another job where you see that, oh, this is my brother, this is my brother-in-law, this is my sister, this is my dad, this is my mom, this is my uncle, all who are so loving. Which of the two places you feel at ease? The first one or the second one? Why? Why? Because that your mind, you know that these people will not judge on me. These people will not pull me down. Why they are not judging you? Why they are not putting you down? Because of the Shweta? Because they love you. You're gonna, what's the opposite of love? Hate, anger, aversion, rejection. So look, that is a prison. In the first case, you feel suffocated. Just enter the company space. The moment you enter there, you feel like your hair, one by one, they become gray. The moment you come out, every cell of the body feels relaxation. You're getting it? So there, the moment you get into that, again, a barrier is created. What is that barrier? That barrier, lack of compassion, lack of affection. So that is so this barrier is, okay, let me tell you, don't try to take it personally too much. Learn it intellectually. Later on, try to gradually apply this in your real life. So that barrier, what is the opposite of, let's say with respect to you, opposite of compassion, what would you say? Opposite of compassion? Selfishness. Compassion reaches out to others. Selfishness holds everything to yourself. So compassion versus selfishness. Selfishness, you say, when you are, even though you are a kind person, the moment you are in the first situation where everybody's so competitive, you become defensive. You're getting it? You become defensive, and you may even learn from your friends how to be cruel, how to pull others down, how to judge on others. So that is all coming from the selfishness. You're getting it? So one barrier is barrier of ignorance, and the other barrier is a barrier of selfishness. We have to demolish these two barriers. Okay. Believe it or not, any religion, somehow you read any religious standard text, you see that these religious texts, they're trying to demolish the barrier of ignorance or barrier of selfishness. They talk about compassion to remove the barrier of the selfishness. And they teach you something. Teach you means to remove the ignorance. So this is a basic principle which is followed by any sensible person to remove the two barriers, barrier of ignorance and the barrier of selfishness. Okay, now next is how to remove that. So don't get stuck there. We have to remove that. I pray to Buddha to remove that. No, you can pray. There's no problem. But to say pray means that may it happen. You make it happen. How to make it happen? Okay, for this, broadly speaking, there are three things. There are three things to keep in mind. How to break the barriers so that your mind will feel the expansiveness in your mind. The truth in your mind is so beautiful. I'm saying this again. And don't take it as just a, don't take it as a what is that? Say exaggeration. Don't take it as so like it's a poetic. No, it's not a poetic. This is reality. Your mind is so, the true nature. Your mind may not be beautiful, but your true nature of your mind is so beautiful. So distinguish between these two things, your mind and the true nature of mind. This is distinction that you have to make. It's so beautiful. Okay. And then because that I see that many faces who already who know what I'm talking about. So those who are really, really new to this session or with Geshe Lab, new to the Geshe Lab, then you identify some of the people who are more seriously with Geshe Lab and attend none of the studies. Just try to interact with them. Then you ask them the question during the break time. Okay, so what I'm saying is that your mind, the true nature of mind is so beautiful. So let me give them the example, metaphor. Let's say that you go to one room to read a book, and in the room you see it's completely dark, and I say that there's a light there. There's a light there, and but you said no, there's no light. It's totally dark. And I ask you, do you sense that there are two pots put upside down? Two pots, two vases, two vases, two pots, whatever you go, however you may pronounce it. So put upside down. Do you notice that? You said yes. So in one there's a light, in the other there is just a, let's say, just what? Just a bottle, a small bottle. Then say, but both are equally, these spaces so dark. From none of the two pots is glowing with light. No, there's no light there. Now you remove the first pot, and the light inside will spread every corner of the room. How many agree with me, Resents? Okay, now with the second light, you remove the pot, second way, I just put a bottle there. The light spreads or not, it does not spread. It does not spread, whether it's covered with the pot or no pot, there's no difference. Because it does not have the nature to illuminate. Whereas the light inside the pot, when the pot is put upside down, the light is not visible because the light is trapped. The true nature of the light is trapped. The moment the pot is removed, then the true nature manifests. Likewise, your true nature of your mind is so beautiful. It is like the light in the vase put upside down. The moment you remove the barrier, which is like the pot, remove the barrier, light inside will spread everywhere. Everywhere is so expansive, so beautiful. Because it is light is the opposite, which is the body of the wisdom. And because light spreads, compassion spreads. Compassion reaches out to others. It does not confine to yourself, selfishness. It distorts the self out to others. So the light spreading everywhere, there is a compassion. Because it's a light to illuminate something, to remove the darkness, that is a wisdom. And it spreads, that is the compassion, reaching out to others, compassion. So these are the two things that we need to cultivate. The next question is how to cultivate that. So these two things must be enriched, must be supported. Because these experiences, for example, so when you're building a house, say, okay, I want to build a house. And house, you stack the building, stack the bricks. Brick, cement, brick, cement, brick, cement. How tall can you stack within 1 hour, within 1 day? How tall? Say, if you can do it, brick, cement, wet cement. Brick, cement, brick, cement, brick, cement. If you can do like 10 stories in 1 day, will you do that? Why not? That's good. So that you can have building finished within a single day. Why not? Anyone? Why not? Huh? Okay, okay, so the Narmadaji is saying, Namradaji is saying the cement has to dry. Okay, if you wait for cement to dry, it'll take just one brick will take minimum few months. And the second brick, another 1 month, right? Just for one room, it'll take you 10 years. Okay, what should we do? Why not? If you can stack it like, say, the 10 stories in one day, will you do that? Why not? Anyone? Hey, just use come. This is not philosophy. It's very simple thing. Yes, over there.
It may clash if there is no structure to it.
No, you brought the structure also.
Like the beams.
Yes, beams. Just not be fabricated. Brick, cement, fresh. Why not?
Process of everything.
Yes, follow the process.
No, sir. There is a process of everything.
This is what I'm saying. Follow every process.
No, we are following every process, but
Yeah.
it's a process where child cannot become old in a day.
But you
child
no,
take a birth
if
today, and you cannot say that
no,
today
that
till the end of the
no.
day the child turns 200.
No, what I'm saying, if this child has the capacity to become not old, become 16 years within a single day.
I'm saying the same thing.
Within,
we are building the,
Why not? If you have that capacity, why not? Anyone? Okay, is there anybody from the architectural? No one. Okay, Neha, can you say something? Why not? No idea. Okay. Yes, the Nikki.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an architecture. I have 3 architects in my family. My dad, yeah, 3 architects in my family, and my dad was a civil engineer.
3 architects. Yeah, you're the best person. Tell me. Tell us.
He used to say that you have to always wait for a long time when you build a slab in the middle of 2 floors. Because
No, before that, they say the bricks, like the minimum 30 bricks should go.
Right.
More than 30. I think about like maybe 100 bricks should go up. Stack them over.
Absolutely. But also
will you do that? Stack 100 bricks one over the other within a single day?
I think absolutely the technology has changed. Like when I talk to my
okay, say 30 years ago.
Yeah, from 30 years ago.
No, 30 not 30 years in future.
30 years in the future.
Not future, in the past. When the technology is very crude.
But I guess if it's crude, then you would have to use, as you said, the process at that time. You had to wait for the slab to dry off and.
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that, okay, lady here said, complete the procedure. What they're saying is let them dry. The word technical term is let the cement set. This word, let the cement set, because the cement when it's too fresh, wet and fresh, it's yet to set. It takes time to set. It doesn't mean that it'll dry completely, because to dry will take a long time. It needs to be set. Only then it will hold. When it holds, then you can stack. So this was what I was managing. I was just 19 or 20 in a monastery, and my teacher, very smart, he says that this boy can manage these things. So he assigned me to work in the building, small, the rooms. He assigned me with the outsource. It was outsourced, but from internally, I was the one to take charge of that, to make sure everything is going well. So there, say, it can be laborers. They will stack like 4 or 5 bricks, and they will stop here for that day. They'll do something else. I was wondering why. Later on, I came to know that the cement needs time to set. If they don't set, it will easily fall down. Okay, so likewise, what is that? What are the 2 barriers of our mind? One is the barrier of ignorance, and the other one is the barrier of Selfish. These two are the barriers which suffocate our mind, which imprison our mind. We are in the prison of our own mind. You getting it? Now our job is to remove this prison by remove the barrier. How to remove the barrier? Remove the barrier of the ignorance by instilling the light of the wisdom. Remove the barrier of the selfishness by instilling the light of the universal compassion. You getting it? Now these two are like the bricks stacked. Bricks of your happiness. The bricks of the castle of your happiness is being stacked, but these bricks stacking require time to set. Time to set, make them firm. For that, we require what is known as meditation. Stability meditation, to stabilize what you're doing, stabilize your wisdom, stabilize your compassion. So therefore, we require these three things. One is compassion, universal compassion, and the other one is the universal compassion to remove the barrier of selfishness, and the wisdom to remove the barrier of the ignorance, and to let these two minds set, let these two minds become firm. We require stability meditation. So stability meditation will help us to make these two, I say the wisdom and the compassion to become strong. So with this, then your faith in your true nature, which is so beautiful, amazing, expansively beautiful, and you gain so much confidence. That is known as the faith. You're getting it? And anybody who teaches this, Buddha, Ram, Prophet Muhammad, or Guru Nanak, or Lord Mahavir, or Zoroaster, or the whatever, or Baba Sahib, Ambedkar, Dora Ambedkarji, or whoever. So we see them as a divine. Your confidence, your faith in them increases. That they taught me that I have this nature inside me, and it should not be exaggerated. And that should be a reality. So I always encourage people, when you try to be nice to other people, be realistic. Don't exaggerate. Praise others with the facts, supported by the facts. Don't exaggerate. Say, for example, somebody who scores only has the capacity to score, let's say, the 60 and not beyond. Oh, he's so good in studies. She was so good in, she can easily score 90. This is exaggeration. Don't exaggerate. For example, my teacher is amazing. So my teacher, he's a well-known logician, philosopher, psychologist. And I jokingly tell my friends that if you want to send something to my teacher, package, letter, whatever, so you just write his name and you don't write any other details. This place, that place, you don't skip all these things. Pin code, all don't require. Write his name, and because he's so popular, they'll get to him directly. Right? This is his popularity. And his nephew, who's also his attendant, chief attendant, his teacher's IQ level is just no comparison. And the nephew's IQ level is also no comparison, too low. And his uncle's IQ level is too high, no comparison. And nephew's no comparison, too low. So nephew, he was studying and he scored 4 out of 100. He scored 4 out of 100. And he felt so embarrassed that, I'm pulling down my uncle's name and fame. He's so everywhere. My uncle will feel so angry, upset with me for scoring only 4 out of 100. And then he doesn't want to go to the uncle, but he had to go because he's the attendant. He has to offer food, he has to attend. And then he went there, and uncle already knew they got the news. And uncle asked, hey, did you get your result? He said, yes, uncle. How much did you score? And he said, 4 out of 100, right? And uncle said, very good, very good. Right? Look, so he knows the fact, he did not exaggerate, very good, very good. He did not exaggerate. He said, very good, very good. My very good? Then he said that I was not even expecting you to score 1 out of 100. Right? Your 4 is amazing. Right? So somebody who I see as only 0 out of 100, you go score 4 is amazing. So good. So he felt so relieved, the nephew. Felt so relieved. Okay, so what I'm saying is that never ever exaggerate when somebody praises somebody. So one is the extreme of being judgmental, and the other one is exaggerating, praising somebody, exaggerate. I said never exaggerate, never exaggerate. Okay, so with this in mind, the question is, can meditation be used as a tool to bridge the gap between the knowledge and the faith? Can cultivated wisdom also help? Answer is 100% yes, it is required, not as a bridge, but to stabilize your wisdom, stabilize your compassion, to remove the two barriers which imprison us in the prison of our own mind. Okay, so quickly going to the next two questions. First one, the next question is, Buddhism lost its influence in India and Tibet because it lost royal patronage and political power. Okay, answer yes. Is power important to spread Buddhism around the world, to spread the Dhamma around the world? What I would say is that it's not necessary to spread Buddhism. It's not necessary to spread any ism, I would say, to be very honest. Spread compassion. Because finally what we need is we need the world to be happy world. You should be happy. The world should be happy. For that, what can assure, guarantee us is that all wars in the name of religion, in the name of political agenda, whatever, all wars are happening because of the lack of compassion. If compassion is there, the world will be a happier world. And this compassion, and how to make this happen, is creating the awareness that we are dependent on each other. We are not independent. When we see that when we think that we're independent, then we feel the need for the dependence on others is cut. When you feel that you are independent, no dependence on others, then I can take the maximum advantage of others' existence. Whereas the reality is very different. We're dependent on each other. So create happiness for others, your happiness enriched. This is the reality. So the point is that, yes, don't think of spreading Buddhism. Don't think of spreading any ism. Spread compassion. Spread common sense. Spread common sense. Based on that, spread compassion. In other words, spread compassion within yourself based on common sense, wisdom of common sense, within yourself and within others. That should be the agenda of the life. Don't spread Buddhism. Don't spread any ism. When it comes to isms, then the patronage, these things, they come into play. When the patronage declines, but that particular religion declines. This is a reality. So whereas our job, our agenda, our purpose of life is to spread happiness by spreading compassion based on the wisdom of common sense. The next is, what is the essence of the part of Vajrayana Buddhism? Okay, so I don't want to touch on this part for the time being. To make it very quick, it's like Vajrayana is where our mind, so this is where the Buddhist psychologist is extremely, profound in that sense, that Buddhist psychology is what? It's a knowledge of the humanity. So I usually don't like to use the word Buddhist psychology, because when you say, is there so like, Buddhism is special? The reality is that it's a human knowledge. It's a knowledge of the humanity. That knowledge is extremely profound. So what is that knowledge? So that knowledge tells you, and that knowledge, it is something empirical. Don't forget it. The word is empirical. What is empirical? Empirical is something which you can experience, which I can experience. For example, let's say that, okay, if I'm hungry, you're hungry, you have the experience. I have the experience that even if Albert Einstein comes, or a religious, the founders, they come and says that, hey, don't eat food, otherwise you'll become more hungry, right? I will not believe. You will not believe in this. You agree? You agree? Even if thousands of Buddhas come, thousands of Ram come, thousands of Prophet Muhammad come, and they tell you they're eating food, you will become more hungry. You will listen or you don't listen? You have the experience. You have the experience that you eat the food, your hunger dissolves. You don't eat food, your hunger increases. This is our experience. So for this food, we don't need advice from anybody. You're getting it? we don't need advice on that matter. We need advice, for example, like in physics, we need advice from Albert Einstein because he's expert on that. We need advice from Niels Bohr, he's expert on this. We need advice from Newton, he's expert on the classical Newtonian physics, classical physics. So we need advice. From the we seek the help, it doesn't mean that they become our, say, the ultimate thing, because you get the knowledge from them, and once you get the knowledge, you become confident, and then it helps you. They are here out of compassion to help us, and you help, the purpose is done. Likewise, you also help others. Okay, good. So the mind, this, if you explore what this mind is like, for example, this laptop, for us ordinary people, we only know how to type, and we send messages. We just know this much. We don't know what on the screen you see many things, but then nothing is happening on the screen. Everything is happening on the tiny chip inside, tiny chip. So there everything's happening, but there's magnified on the screen. If they like the screen, nothing's happening on the screen. You're getting it? There's no chip inside the screen, but whatever is happening there is happening there in the projector. What's happening in the projector? There's a tiny chip there which is operating. So likewise, our mind, the gross version which we see, and the tiny subtle aspect of the mind, which is a reality which we don't see. At the moment, gradually our job is to make a mind to see these subtler and subtler version of your mind. You see that on the gross level, for example, practice of compassion can be done on two levels, very gross level and very subtle level. For example, let's say that I need tea. Okay, I need, let's say, tea. And then the Tenzila, okay, brings tea. She prepares the tea. Who prepared the tea? Tenzila prepares the tea. She prepared the tea. Okay, how much atoms did you add? If I ask her, how many electrons should go in the air in this cup of tea? She has no clue. But you added this. You added this. Yes, I added. How much you add? I have no clue. You're getting it? So what she worked on is on the level of the milk, tea, water. That's it. On that level, that's gross level, visible. But on the atomic level, is also that something's happening there on the atomic level, which she's totally unaware of. You're getting it? That is subtle version. And the one on the milk, the tea, the water, and so forth, sugar and so forth, that is on the gross level. So mind is operating on two levels. Gross level, which is empirical to us at the moment, and the subtle one we are not even aware of, and actually it's happening. The gross one we are seeing here on the screen, we're seeing this. But the subtle one is happening inside this projector. What's happening in the projector, we have no clue. Only when the light stops, then you will say, oh, the projector must be damaged or some problem there. So, but what's the problem? How was it working before? Inside, you have no clue. So, likewise, our mind. So now the thing is that how we are training our mind on the gross level. This is one system. There's another system which helps you to identify the subtler level of the mind. So that becomes Vajrayana. That's the Vajrayana. Vajrayana is where you train, become expert in the managing your mind on the gross level. From there, you go to manage the subtle level of the mind. For example, knowing how to make tea, and then how to make tea on the atomic level. This number of atoms, this number of electrons, protons, neutrons, so forth. That is the subtler version. So, for example, like mechanics, for example, some people, they can help us on the operational level. They don't know the coding. You're getting it? But how all these operational, the person helping us with the operational computer. So there, something is happening on the level of the chip. So for this is the coatings. Coding. So therefore, coding is something with somebody who knows the computer on a subtler level. Okay. So for this, when you to deal with the subtler version of your mind, then the Vajrayana can help us. So till that point, But for this, keep in mind that to get access, to know how things are happening on the subtle, on the level of the chips here, you have to know the operational level, gross one. If you don't know the gross one, there's no way by which you can know the subtle version. So therefore, to know what is Vajrayana, you have to know the basic Buddhist principles and the teachings. Okay, good. So now we will turn to the text. Okay, we'll turn to the text. And Menlhai, you have to inform me when the time is up. If possible, try to inform me at 10 minutes in advance so that we leave time for question answers. Okay. The text. The title of the text is In Praise of Dependent Origination by the author Lama Tsongkhapa, 14th century AD. Okay, how many of you have the text? Presents. We all have the text. We all have. Okay, good. And okay, so I will quickly share with you, how this text came into being. Okay, background information is that the background information is that the author Lama Tsongkhapa, he was a 14th century incredibly great Tibetan master, 14th century. And what happened was that many of you from Nalanda studies, you already know the various levels of the philosophical schools and so forth. So this teacher, he was extremely famous all over Tibet, and not only in Tibet, also in China, and then also in Mongolia. So popular. His refinedness of his knowledge. So what happened was that he was wondering whether or not he got the final philosophical, the nuanced philosophical concept as the Buddha taught, as explained by Arya Nagarjuna. He was just wondering whether this happened. And then and if you go to the Menlhai Jamtse Center, if you go there, you will see the various statues there. And from these statues, you learn from Geshe which statue is which, depicts what you've learned. So there is one statue where you see a deity statue with the deity holding a sword, holding the sword like this. So that is the deity known as the Arya Manjushri. And who is that? Anyone? Arya Manjushri, Shweta. Bodhisattva of wisdom. So, say according to Sutra system, he's treated as a Bodhisattva, and in Tantra system, he's treated as a Buddha. Okay, for time being, let's say Bodhisattva of wisdom. And there was one teacher, another teacher, who was having a direct vision of Arya Manjushri. In other words, like me and you talking, two of us talking, likewise, this other teacher can communicate with Arya Manjushri directly like two persons talking. So that Lama Tsongkhapa, the author of this text, he knows that teacher, and with whom he has a mutual teacher-student relationship. So he requested, this author requested that other teacher to please check with Arya Manjushri. With Arya Manjushri, his wisdom is a manifestation of the Buddha. So please check with Arya Manjushri if his own understanding, the Lama Tsongkhapa's understanding of emptiness, of the ultimate reality, the wisdom of emptiness, that reflects the final, most refined understanding of emptiness. So the other teacher, whose name is Lama Umapa. Lama Umapa informed this to Arya Manjushri, like meeting with, somebody meeting His Holiness. in person. And Arya Manjushri said that, okay, at the moment, your understanding of the ultimate reality is not complete. But if you put effort in three ways, you will soon realize the ultimate import of the wisdom of emptiness as taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni, as commented upon by Arya Nagarjuna. So this prophecy was made. Then Lama Tsongkhapa put efforts in these three forms as advised by Arya Manjushri. Then finally, on the closer towards the end of the 11th month, then Lama Tsongkhapa, the author of this text, he had a dream, interesting dream where Arya Nagarjuna and Arya Nagarjuna students who are experts in the emptiness, wisdom of emptiness subject, they were together in a meeting, and from there, so Lama Tsongkhapa, he was seeing them in the dream, including Arya Manjushri. And from there, one great master known as the Acharya Buddha Palita, whose commentary, whose work on the wisdom of emptiness is again extremely, extremely important, being studied. So in the dream, that master stood up and came towards Lama Tsongkhapa, author. And that master gave him a scripture, gave him scripture, one volume of whole book. Then the author, he woke up, and very next day he had a visitor, and the visitor actually presented him with the book which was authored by that teacher who Lama Tsongkhapa dreamt of coming down and giving him the book. So he received the book and opened it. It's a book authored by that teacher who he dreamt. And he read it, and at that point, he had the extremely vivid, clear-cut understanding of the wisdom of emptiness. So that very day, he composed this text, which we're studying now. So this text is extremely blessed in that sense. Okay, having said this, now we're going to read this text. If you have it, just be with me. Page 1, it reads, "In praise of dependent origination." So this is a short form of the title. The full title is "In praise of the Buddha Shakyamuni," the Buddha, in praise of the Buddha Shakyamuni for him having taught the wisdom of dependent origination. You remember the story that I shared with you, that my car got stuck in the middle of the pass, and then the people, they helped me without being asked. Why? Because they saw dependent origination very clearly. Because of this, they said that without me helping this car, my car not being able to move will continue to originate. If I want to have my car move, then I have to help this person to make his car move. But depending on this, my car moving will be originated. He could see that, they could see that very clearly. So when you see dependent origin very clearly on all aspects of your unease will be dissolved. Okay, so with this in mind, they say the Buddha Shakyamuni, in praise of Buddha Shakyamuni, having taught the wisdom of dependent origination. This is the full title. Okay, simply put, we just say Tendel Döpa in Tibetan. Tendel is dependent origination, Döpa is the praise, in praise of dependent origination. The author, Lama Tsongkhapa, is a 14th century great Tibetan master. Okay, and those of us who are from the Nalanda studies, it doesn't mean that those who are not a part of Nalanda studies, you are unrelated. This is not what I'm saying. Anybody can do these Nalanda studies. It doesn't mean that you have to believe in this. So it will give you different ways of looking at things. and your ways of thinking, will be enriched, will become vast and profound. So your perception will change and you become a happier person. So those of us who are doing this this course, and particularly this course has various levels. Now, I don't know, maybe in December, we're going to launch the next Nalanda Durban course by 6 in December. So those who are, say, interested to do these, to learn about these, how to remove the barriers of the mind, the barrier of the ignorance, the barrier of the selfishness, then these courses will be very helpful. So, and those of you who are doing this course, you will come to see that the author Lama Tsongkhapa, his works are of extremely of great benefit for us. Okay, and particularly those of us who are doing anybody know who did NMC 1? Okay, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. So Minanaji, if not completed, so there's always exception for her, not others, because she was going through a transition from Dwarka, Delhi to Mumbai. It was the transition period, and I'll just share one thing because it's a heavy text, so you need to sigh a little bit. Right, relax a little bit. So I will share a small story of not about her, about somebody, say related to him. Once Mirnanaji asked Gisela, do you do home visits? They do not do what's that? So I said yes. And I said, why? Why? And she said she has a friend who's one of the family members going through a very difficult, tough time. And her family also, her friend was also going through very low phase of life. If you go there, and it can just uplift the morale. So I said, okay, just to make her happy, I just went. And then alongside, we also went to her home. She invited me to her home where the food, amazing food served. And then not the terrace, the next story, one story higher, there was a upper floor. Upper floor, there was one gentleman who was a retired captain or army person, a retired person, and she also invited him to meet because he was also going through a tough time because of loss of his son. Then when meeting this gentleman was telling me that, oh, I talked to God directly. He said, I talked to God directly. And God told me this. I said, yes. And again, he was sharing with me that I talked to God directly. I said, yes. And then the said, asked the gentleman who must be in 70s, 60s. Then she told the gentleman that now that you are retired, you have time. Sometimes it's good if you go to Tibet House. And he's not interested. He said, I no need Tibet House. I talk to God directly. Right? I have direct access. I don't have to go through Tibet House and God. No need of Tibet House. Right? So, but he didn't say this. He politely said that I talk to God directly, meaning that no need to go to Tibet House. Then she was moving to Mumbai. She asked me if there's a possibility that I can visit her place once more. I said, yes. I went there. Again, she invited the same gentleman. And same gentleman, again, he was busy sharing with me how his communication with the God. I talked to God directly. And again, Mrinaliji now became desperate that she's leaving. Now she will not get a chance to tell the gentleman to go to Tibet House. She said that, hey, gentlemen, now you have time. So although I will not be here, but it's good if you can go to Tibet House. Again, she said, yeah. He said, yeah. I talked about that. Then I was so amazed. But Menlhai just said that, okay, gentlemen, captain. No, you call her captain something. So what he said, what she said, I said, hey, if you go to Tibet House, you will stop seeing all these things. This is what she said. If you go to Tibet House, then you will stop saying all this nonsense. I talk about that again. You will stop saying this. I was literally shocked. And that, wow, Menlhai became so desperate. No, you said it. No, you said it. Yeah, she said that. She said that. No, she did not say that you will stop saying this nonsense. This was nonsense I added. What she said is that if you go to Tibet House, you stop saying all these things that I talked about directly. You stop saying all these things. This is what she said. Okay, it's a little digression. Next, verse 1. He who speaks on the basis of seeing, this makes him a knower. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Yes. He who speaks on the basis of seeing, on the basis of seeing the reality, this makes him here refers to the Buddha. And Buddha, when you say Buddha, don't think of Buddhism. Buddha is a Sanskrit word. It means the awakening, awakened one. Anybody can be awakened. Buddhist, non-Buddhist, non-believer, believer, anybody can be awakened. For example, anybody can become a physicist. Anybody, not necessarily that you should be Westerner or you should be Easterner. No, anybody can become expert in the philosophy. Anybody can become expert in Western philosophy. So the point is that anybody who will become expert in that, you study it, contemplate, then you expert in physics, you become expert in neuroscience, you become expert in music, you become expert in this, that, and so forth. Likewise, anybody can be awakened. Who will be awakened? Who is that anybody? Anybody who follows the path to remove the ignorance, anybody who follows the path to remove the selfishness, that person will be awakened. So awakened meaning that you have the potential. You have the potential, and this potential is at the moment sleeping. So that needs to be awakened. So that sleeping meaning that this potential is hidden by the obscurations. What is that obscuration? Obscuration of ignorance, the two barriers. What are the two barriers? The barrier of ignorance and the barrier of selfishness. So these two barriers, thank you. These two barriers block us from, say, making this sleeping treasure inside us a treasure, ultimate treasure, the most beautiful treasure. That treasure, it blocks us from this treasure, from awakening, from waking up. So our job is to let this treasure wake up by removing these two obstructions, these two barriers. Okay. He who speaks on the basis of seeing the reality to remove the barrier of the ignorance. This makes the Buddha a knower, ultimate knower, and the teacher of the ultimate truth, unexcelled. I bow to you, O conqueror. Conqueror meaning the Buddha who conquered the two barriers, the two demons, the one who conquered the two demons. The real conqueror is the one who conquers your selfishness, one who conquers your ignorance. And this is the real conqueror. The Bodhisattva Shantideva, he said that there's somebody who can conquer one's own mind. That is the greatest conqueror. Conquer outside enemies. Say when they get the upper hand, they will conquer you. You may conquer them now, but they will conquer you later when they become stronger. But the internal conquer, if you can conquer your ignorance, if you conquer your selfishness, that is the best of the conqueror. You are the greatest of the conqueror, because these two will never conquer you ever again once you conquer them for good. So you become the best, the most superior, the conqueror. Okay, you conquer the inside, you conquer outside. You conquer outside. If the inside is not conquered, you conquer outside, Outside will again conquer you anytime when they become stronger than you. Okay. O conqueror, you who saw dependent origination and taught it. So look, understanding dependent origin, this is so precious. It may, believe it or not, it'll make your life so beautiful. For example, okay, how many of you? You fight with your husbands, you fight with your wives, recent. Said, you did not do this, you did not do this, right? And, yeah, and then they say, husband says something, right? And you heard something different. And he said, you said like this. I said, I did not say this. Yeah, you said it. I don't say, do you think I'm deaf? Right? No, you said it. Then he said, no, I didn't say it. Like, and then the volume increases, both. Volume increases, and temperature also increases in both, right? Unnecessary conflicts, unnecessary. Why I'm saying this? I have no experience. I've no experience, but I've seen that. I've seen that with somebody who's most respected in this world. Professors, very senior professors, highly respected professors. I've seen them. So one time, my professor friend, very senior, highly respected professor, a position close to the vice chancellor. We met in a conference, and he said, he would call me Dorji. Dorji, you have to come to my house. I said, what for? To stay in my house for a few days. I said, no, I already booked a room here, already booked. He said, never mind, let go. And I said, no, I'm serious. I already booked a room here. And again, I have to come to your place like another 1 hour, 1.5 hours. He said, no, you have to come. He was insisting. So out of my respect for him, finally I gave up. I said, yes, okay, I'll come. Then I told him that, because that I'm coming, you have to inform your wife that I'm coming. He said, yes. Inform me now. And he said, okay, later. And then we started the car. And I already was in the house already a few months ago. And then halfway through, I again reminded him, now call your wife to tell that I'm coming. He said, yes, later. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, later. Then finally we reached. And I said, Professor, out of my respect, I said, go first. He said, no, Dorji, you go first. He was pushing me, right? He was pushing me. And the wife was waiting at the main entrance, main door with two hands behind, like a policeman. This is not her style. I know her. This is not her style. Today, her way of posture is very different, like this. And just in the middle of the door, how should I go? Right? So then I said, good evening. She said, good evening, Dorji. Right? No smile, nothing. And just still in the middle. She did not even move on the side for me to pass through. So I have to go like a rubber. Right? And the professor was following me. And she was like this, like policeman. Then we got it. And just two of them were busy doing something. I was in the living room. Then I said, oh, the professor with the name G. Let's say Professor A. I'm not disclosing the name. Professor A.G. Suddenly the wife blasted. She said, Dorji, he did not deserve to be called G. Then I realized why he called me. Because he was expecting that she's going to blast at her and that I was brought there as a shield. Pushing me in front. Right? So that, I've seen that. Then after a while, two of them subside a little bit, and now the professor's turn. The lady's turn's done, finished. And now the professor's turn. Professor could not identify where he left the wallet. And he said to us, they asked the wife, do you see my wallet? She said, no, I don't know. And the professor was looking around, finally he found it. Then he started to blast the wife, said that you misplaced this, my wallet. And she said, no, I did not. It's your wallet, it's not mine. She says, no, no, you did. Who else on this house? It's only you and me, and I did not do it. It must be you. And I said that, Professor, now you've already found the wallet. Just tell your wife, embrace her. Tell her that, oh, we are so lucky we have not lost the wallet. All the cars are there. Bank cards, all these things are there. We are so lucky there. Instead of shouting, just say that it's safe. So your wife will be happy, you'll be happy. Instead, look, this is where you have left it. And then she becomes even more angry, and you become more angry. I've seen that, like two small children. Outside, he's a professor, very respected professor. All other professors respected. And inside, like two small little boy and little girl fighting. This is what I've seen. So now look, what I'm saying is that this is all because of failing to see the dependent origination. If you fail to see the dependent origination, then instead of affection, competition, anger, all these things happen. It's all because that you are not listening to me. You are not listening to me. You're not taking care of me. It's all about selfishness there. And not seeing dependent origination, ignorance is there. And it's about me and not, it's about me all the time, it's selfishness. So these two demons simply erupt anger, unhappiness, and stress, anxiety in your life. So it says, about who you all conquer. You have conquered these two demons. The Buddha, you have conquered these two demons, the demon of the selfishness and the demon of the ignorance. And who saw dependent origination and taught it. Number two, whatever degenerations there are in the world, the root of all these is ignorance. So ignorance, it has many layers. What we said is ignorance and selfishness. So selfishness is also a form of ignorance. How? By being selfish, you think that you get the maximum happiness. In actuality, selfishness, all your happiness is disrupted by being selfish. For example, in the family, tell me, who's happier? The one who is concerned about the family members or one who's always very selfish? Who's happier? Huh? Okay, one who's concerned whenever, okay, say who's happier? The moment you enter your house, everybody becomes tense. Or the moment you enter your house, everybody relaxes. Who's happier? Okay, you, I'm not talking of the two. If you are somebody, you enter your house and all family members, they feel just relaxed. Or versus the moment you enter, they're all very jovial, talking, laughing. So you enter, everybody becomes tense. Which of the two cases you will be happier, the first or the second? First one, first one. So what's the difference with the first and second? Second, there's an element of selfishness there, particularly your family members. Outside people, maybe out of respect and so forth, the family members, because they will feel that you are very selfish and something goes wrong, you will blast. So whereas when you're very compassionate, they know that you come there, they feel that their problems, their problems will be forgotten. They'll feel the ease. So you are happier. So this is where the saying the number two, whatever degeneration meaning whatever problems that we face in our real life, they are in the world. The root of all these is ignorance. One is a cognitive ignorance. Is number two, ignorance that I'm talking about. That's why ignorance and selfishness. That ignorance is the cognitive ignorance, and the selfishness is the affective ignorance. Okay, let me make this distinction: cognitive ignorance and the affective ignorance. So selfishness belongs to the second, and the ignorance that we are talking about, not knowing the reality, that is the cognitive ignorance. Whatever degenerations there are in the world, the root of all these is ignorance. You taught that it is dependent origination, the seeing of which will undo the ignorance, the two kinds of ignorance. It first removed the ignorance, cognitive ignorance, by giving you the wisdom to see the reality, called the ontological reality, and it also gives you the wisdom to see to remove by instilling the wisdom of the other cherishing, universal compassion, to remove the effective ignorance of selfishness. And with these two things, then the two barriers are removed. Then you can flow so freely, your mind flows freely everywhere. That is the ease, infinite ease. It's so beautiful. And this is your nature. This is the true nature of your mind, true nature of my mind. Say in your family, there may be someone who is going through depression, anxiety, raise hands. In your family, there are some who are going through deep depression. Something small things happen, feels so disturbed, raise hands. Yes, even their minds are so beautiful. Even their minds can see things so broadly, and the disturbance, there's no room for disturbance. Why disturbance? Means there's some additional factor that came to obscure the true nature of your mind. And that brings the disturbance. Now, if you teach them how to remove this obscuration, disturbance will go away. This is amazing. Your true nature of the mind, the true nature of your mind, true nature of my mind, true nature of your family member's mind, everyone is so beautiful. Okay, number 3. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this path of dependent origination is the essential point of your teaching? So anybody who understands principle of dependent origination well, that person becomes very, very confident in the face of one's life. Very confident. Because Albert Einstein, why is so confident with respect to physics? Why is so confident? Because he could see all the nuances of physics. And as such, he knows that okay, this boy is telling us, speaking like this, he doesn't know that. Not knowing this originates into his asking this question. And she is asking this question because of not knowing this part. So by not knowing this part, but depends on that, then this question originated. You're getting dependent origination. He knows so well. Because of this, the more nuanced the dependent origination you know, the more confident you become. The more confident, the unease and disturbance becomes remote. Okay. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this path of dependent origination is the essential point of your teaching? Of you meaning you here is the Buddha, because it's in praise of the Buddha for him having taught dependent origination. Okay, this being so, who will find, O Savior? Savior again referring to Buddha, who saves everybody from the ignorance and from the selfishness and lead everybody to a state of infinite ease and infinite happiness. This being so, who will find, O Savior, a more wonderful way to praise you than to praise you for having taught this origination through dependence? Okay, let's say that if you want to praise Albert Einstein, would you praise him for his being violent? No, why not? He plays violin. Why do they? If you want to praise Albert Einstein, on what basis you like to praise him? Raise hand. Raise hand. Hey, nobody wants to praise Albert Einstein. Namrati. His intelligence. His intelligence playing violin.
No.
Then.
His understanding of the laws of physics.
For his understanding of the laws of physics, you're getting it? So they don't praise Albert Einstein that he's a good cook, or he loves music. Yes, he loves music. Don't praise, If you want to praise him for his something which other people will really feel amazed. That is his intelligence in knowing the nuances of physics, physical laws. Likewise, if you want to praise the Buddha, praise him for teaching this wisdom, understanding which will liberate us from all the tears of samsara, all the painful tears of samsara. You have to praise the Buddha for that. Because we We seek that, and anybody who can teach us how to get rid of the painful tears, that is something that you want to praise, that you want to seek help from. So that is a Buddha who taught this wisdom of dependent origination. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, Heart Sutra recitation. Eta om gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvatyata om gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvatyata. Back in half an hour.
Deep break.
And participants will come back in 22 minutes.